The SHW Offroad channel. Jake here with SHW Offroad. Today we're going to talk about food, cooking specifically in vehicle-based adventure travel. We see tons and tons of videos and content out there about gourmet meals and dishes made on the road, which is killer, and that's a great kind of thing to reset. A lot of people use that to reset on the road or to build community on these big trips. I am going to more specifically talk about the meals other than the gourmet stuff, and why the gourmet should be these kind of exceptions and the kind of cherries on the top, if you will, when it comes to your intake on the road, and why you need to have super functional, easy to make meals as well. Do not expect to hit the road and cook steak and multi-ingredient dishes every evening or for every lunch, because it'll just add more stress and it's just not feasible for some people. So when you watch this content, keep in mind there's probably, for every meal that's a gourmet meal that they do a 20-minute segment on, there's probably 5 meals that are quick and easy. So that is what we're gonna focus on, is quick and easy stuff. I encourage you, do not focus on some of these gourmet meals. First focus on the functional ones. Most meals that me and my wife, when we go on our trips, and most of the others we ride with, a lot of the meals we partake in are made at home. They're ones that we can prep for the week or the 5 days, or however long we're going to be out. We make them at home so that when we hit the trail for 8 to 10 hours, we're on the road for 500-600 miles a day, that we can arrive at camp, warm it up, and eat it, go to bed. The problem with some of these gourmet meals or just multi-ingredient meals after long days like that is they take just a lot of time to make sometimes. But even, I think the bigger problem than that is the prep and the cleanup. The cleanup is a big deal. When you make these big extravagant meals, cleanup can take a really long time. It can take a ton of resources too. I linked a video in the last video we did to Venture to Rome, and their video they did on cooking. He has some great solutions to cleanup. He had a few devices that he used and stuff. So go back and watch that if you haven't, if you want to learn more about how you can minimize or reduce the time it takes for you to clean up camp after cooking. So consume meals that either cook really fast or that you can cook ahead of time and just warm up. It'll make your life so much easier. Do not just schedule a bunch of gourmet meals that you have to put together every evening for lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Avoid empty carbs as well. That's when you're doing these functional meals, it's easy to just consume food that isn't good for you, that doesn't promote good energy. So lots of protein, avoid empty carbs. We do a lot of bars, granolas, nuts. We try to do some eggs. There's some great hacks out there for transporting eggs on the road. One that I've stumbled across recently is pre-scrambling and cracking eggs and storing them in a jug or a bottle of some sort. Don't carry eggs fresh in the container. You're asking for them to make a mess, so you'll have more garbage and you're probably going to break some. So break them down, scramble them. Lastly, the food you do take, whether it's functional or gourmet or not, just store it properly. And that might seem like a really simple, basic ask, but do you really know what needs and doesn't need to be refrigerated? If you caught our video earlier this week, we talked about fridges. And a big thing with fridges is people refrigerate things that don't need to be refrigerated, which is why they think they need a giant fridge. So know what needs to be refrigerated, what can go without. Be aware in bear country. Store everything so that you can get to it quickly. That's where a drawer system comes in nicely, whether that's ours or someone else's. But food is something you access often, and sometimes you need to access quickly. So have it in an easy-to-reach place. Have a system to get to your food. And that system's going to look different for your quick snack, dry food during the day versus your meals in the evening and stuff like that. So have a system for storing your food. and all that kind of stuff. But overview, if you want a quick synopsis of everything that we just talked about: functional food over gourmet, avoid empty carbs, right? Eat good food. When you focused on some of this functional food, make sure it's good food, and properly store and organize it so you have a system and you have just a more organized rig that makes your life easier, that you don't have to fight. That's the whole reason SHW Offroad exists, is to make your adventures kind of a more seamless experience, but an experience more focused on adventure more than fighting your rig. So that's it today. Tons of basic stuff, but important. Make sure you keep it in mind. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to talk about, I think we're going to talk about tire pressure, which is another basic one, but it's a big one. So tune back in tomorrow, tire pressure, and thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.